Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order for the Town of Acton, Maine Selectmen's meeting for July 1st, 2020. First item on the agenda is salute the flag. I came upon a recording that I thought was quite fitting for our country, if you will, with all that's going on, from a very iconic artist. And it's a Pledge of Allegiance, as said by Charlie Daniels. I thought it was quite moving and quite nice. And our director or producer, Dan, has got a copy of it. And we're going to play that tonight for our pledge. So go ahead, Dan, and play that. We'll just listen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dan, for that. That was Charlie Daniels, recording artist. I thought it might be fitting for this, just a few days away from the 4th of July. So, okay. So with that, we'll start our meeting.
Just a minute, Ed. I want to just turn on a couple of cameras here.
Sure.
There we go.
I've got a couple of your first agenda items on there on the camera, so
Okay. So the first agenda item is Ben. Are you there?
Right here.
You are there, Ben. Okay. Once again, we've kind of pulled a fast one on a couple of people. They think they were here to give us some information on a building permit for their son, Ben. Well, in essence, they're not. And they're here because this year's town report is being dedicated to Bernie and Mary Yetten. We'd like to say thank you to you two. And in the report, it says, as what's written is, the Town of Acton is pleased to dedicate the 2018-19 town report to Bernard and Mary Yetten. Mr. and Mrs. Yetten have both been instrumental in the success of the Town of Acton. Bernie, a Navy veteran, was born here, calls Acton his home for over 65 years. Married in 1974, Mary joined Bernie in Acton, where they started their family. Bernie and Mary are proud parents of Benjamin Yetten and grandparents to a beautiful boy named Jackson. Mary began her involvement with the Acton Public Library as a trustee back in 2003. Mary also served as the Board of Trustees secretary for numerous years and was eventually hired as a library clerk in 2010. She has a following of patrons who prefer to come visit the library on her scheduled days to work. If a child walks in on Mary's watch, you'll find her follow them to the Children's Corner, where she personally interacts with each one of them for as long as she can. Mary works very hard and takes great pride in the appearance and organization of all the library's offerings. Mary has also served as ballot clerk and election clerk for the Town of Acton on and off since 2000. In addition to her volunteerism with the town, Mary has taught Vacation Bible School and Sunday School at the Acton Congregational Church for many years. She has also been a blue ribbon winner at our local Acton Fair with varieties of different entries over the years, including her delicious homemade pies. Bernard, known to all who love him as Bernie, has cared for roads for the Town of Acton on and off since the 80s. In the early years, Bernie worked beside his father, who was road commissioner for many years. Later, following in his father's footsteps, Bernie served as road commissioner from 1995 to 2009. During these years, he also served on the Road Advisory Committee, Camp Road Committee, Capital Improvement Committee, Town of Acton Town Road Committee, Bernie was both an elected official in the town of Acton and also an appointed committee member. Throughout his involvement in years, Bernie helped develop the town of Acton's road ordinance. He also served the town during memorable Patriots' Day storms and Mother's Day storms of 2007. Bernie loves to spend time up to camp, hunting and fishing, especially with his grandson Jackson. The town of Acton is very grateful to both Bernie and Mary Yetton for their years of service to the town. The Board of Selectmen is also pleased to be able to dedicate this year's town report to such kind, sincere, loving couple. So with that, congratulations, folks. I wish we could be there in person, but we can't. So we got, with Ben's help, we pulled it off. Thank you, Ben, and congratulations, Bernie and Mary.
Thank you so much.
It is an honor.
Anything you'd like to say?
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be on the town report.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's a job trying to find good people to put on there, and we definitely did this year. So
Acton has plenty of good people in it.
it does, but you know, so great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Good job, Ed.
Okay. Good. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Town Administrator Weekly Update. Jen, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. So first item is just a reminder that the transfer station is closed this Saturday based on the personnel policy. 4th of July is Saturday, so it is closed. They will be open regular hours on Sunday. It's been advertised everywhere, so we've been trying to get the word out. Wanted to let you know that I did get a renewal from Penny's Rubbish. His expiration would have been June 30th. That's your commercial hauler in town. So he has sent in his payment, insurance, workers' comp. I'm missing the application in one form, so I'm working with him, but we're going to give him a little time as he's gotten it in. So that will be on your agenda for approval next week, unless anybody has any concerns with it. I wanted to let you know that the tree growth issues have been completely sorted out, and everything is working online, and everything is just the way it should be. Committee notices have been going out, so we have run the notice in the reporter. We're running it on the town's website. It's on cable, and I did put it on the Acton Facebook page. I guess the question is, are you looking for members that are currently on these committees to notify you in writing that they are interested as well, or am I just calling each one of them and asking them? I sent you the posting. I'm not sure if you saw it. But I kind of just asked, a little bit, asked them to tell you a little bit about themselves and why they were interested in the position. So is that just for new ones, or how did you want to handle that?
Well, I think it's probably a good idea, just so that we know who wants to be on and who doesn't want to be on anymore. They're on our email. They got on town email. They can just email us. Yeah, I'd really like to be on the committee. Da 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 da.
So I'll send an email to all of the accounts and tell them they need to.
Ed, Kim?
Sounds good. Yep, I agree.
I don't, I mean, whatever way is easier. I mean, calling them or sending them an email, it doesn't matter to me, just to see if they, want to continue.
We know a couple of them you'll have to call because they don't
Right.
email, but
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Okay.
David actually had a good idea that I don't mean actually. David had a good idea sorry. David had a good idea that he mentioned last week when we were kind of talking about the Zoom meetings and, the shortage of allowing people inside the building and so forth. And he asked me to reach out to the school superintendent to find out if we could borrow an iPad for one or two members that might have internet at home that just don't have the device. So I did email Mr. Ross and Mike Corey, and they did say that they've got one that they can set us up with. So I don't know that it'll be for tomorrow night's meeting, but certainly we've got a plan in place so that we can help. So we'll have one planning board member that doesn't have internet at home, so he'll continue to come to the town hall. And then the other one, who I believe has internet, would have a device from the school he could use. So that worked out. Freedom of information I sent you via email. I just wanted to make sure that it was on the record. We have already sent it along. Did you see that from Mr. Crespi looking for information, building construction development permits issued to particular map and lots? It says, and then there was a date from September of 19, it looks like, to present only. And he had an email with a little bit of clarification as far as questions he had on response. Well, I shouldn't say. He was looking for responses from the Martell Estates by the lake representatives, some things that were mentioned at the last planning board meeting. So we have sent those over to code enforcement to start working on. And believe it or not, that's all I have because I am swimming in absentee ballots. And I mean swimming.
Very good. You're open tomorrow night as regular?
Yes.
Okay.
And all day Friday.
Okay. Yep. I'll stop
Apparently we're
tomorrow night.
okay.
So, okay. Okay. Warrants and bills. I was in and signed. I think
I was too.
Dave, you signed as well? Yep. Okay. Sounds good. And I also signed everything else that needed to be signed. There was a bunch of appointments that we did last year.
And
so I've
just to, there are some in there that David and Kim that you haven't signed that weren't in there before because I had to get clarification as in regards to the planning board members, if you guys could just extend them for 30 days or if I had to actually do an oath and create another appointment for 30 days. I hadn't done that last week. I had done just the ones that you reappointed for a year. But after getting clarification, they do need that official oath. So I had to print those today. So those are in there for signatures.
Okay.
And my plan is prior to the Zoom meeting tomorrow night, just to swear them all in via Zoom. So there's no legalities on their appointments.
sounds good. Okay. Approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda of the Selectmen's meeting for July 1st, 2020.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda for July 1st. Any discussion? Call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay, minutes of the last meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of June 24th, 2020 Selectmen meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve the minutes of June 24th Selectmen's meeting. Any further discussion? Okay, call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay. Okay, department heads and committee chairs. Do we have any?
Yes, sir.
Going once, going twice. Okay. Down to old business, Article 43 application.
All right, so there's something in your packet, and I apologize. I can see now that mine's kind of looks like it went through the copier sideways, but nevertheless, this is the current year that we worked on closing out today. I had made notes as we went along because there's been some talk about which ones need to come back, which ones we don't have any in our possession. We've returned whatever we don't have. When you guys decided you wanted to stop reviewing them, they've been sent back. So looking at my notes at the bottom, so we paid Loop Road out and we paid Wilkins Road out. Those are the only two we paid out in the 1920 fiscal year. 13th Street, if you look at the bottom, 13th Street was received. The Ridge was received. If you remember, 13th Street was rejected because I believe you guys determined that was maintenance. The Ridge was actually accepted by the Board of Selectmen and awarded $3,000, but that was pulled back shortly after when the road committee pointed out an error in the application. So that was never paid out. And then Wilkins Road was received, and then Lakeside and Langley. So those were the two new ones that were sent back as well. So I know there was some talk about some that may have to be grandfathered. I mean, I don't know what you're grandfathering them under. You really, you know, I mean, are you grandfathering them under the old application, meaning that they don't have to have some of the attachments? I mean, you weren't approving maintenance then, so you certainly shouldn't now. So I wanted to get some clarification on that and also let you know that I've sent over the couple of questions that you had to Brad. I don't have any answers yet. Hopefully we'll have an update for next week.
Okay. I think my opinion on it is where we sent those back and basically we rejected them because we knew we had a new application coming out. I think the new application is very similar to the old. There's a few more things on there that I think most of the roads ought to be able to answer the questions quite easily on. So I'd like to start them all off with a new application. Jim?
I was gonna say, I know that nothing's really, I'm trying to think here, there's nothing that really should make a huge impact, because all we're asking for is more information as far as paperwork and attachments and stuff, so, yeah, I guess we could go with the new one.
Oh,
Okay.
so you guys, I guess
Just,
maybe I misunderstood. So you just want to reapply, or is that what you guys want to do? Or
Well, give them the, we know they applied once, but we rejected the applications.
yeah,
Based on new applications coming out, really. So I'd give them the new application and have them send it in. They'd send it in with the old application, so we know that, they attempted.
that would be good.
Yeah, they don't have to fill out anything else on the old application, but.
I think the only issue you're going to have is I think some of these roads have already done the work.
Yeah, but
And those we should waive.
and we most
Just waive that for now.
Well, I
Yes.
don't think,
What are we talking about?
is there anything in the new application that says it all has to be done ahead of time and there's
No.
and there's no, so I don't think
Actually,
that
no.
piece is really relevant. Do you know what I mean? Because there's nothing in the new application that says you have to go through all this ahead of time. And the word reject is, maybe a bit much because we just didn't accept them. When they tried to bring them to the counter to say we want to turn this in, we
Right.
just weren't accepting them at that time.
Yep.
Should.
I don't think there's anything on the new application that would make us reject the application as a whole any more than we would have rejected the old application as a whole. So it's just more detailed.
Yeah, all they have to do is just get somebody to come up and say, this needed to be done for this reason.
Yeah.
And if the work hasn't been done yet, then they'd have to do it anyways.
Right.
Right.
If it's already been done, I guess they can have someone come up to show, that verify that what they've done is what should have been done. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just have them reapply and, right?
Going forward on the new application, do we want to put on there that we would like them to apply first, though? Because before we did it, do the work and then submit it. So, to make sure that we are, that they're eligible and stuff before they go ahead and do the work and then they can't get the money. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think that's what originally, I think that's originally what I wanted, because I thought it would be really good for bookkeeping on our side of it too, especially when we start getting low on the funds, to have the work prepaid, knowing that you're going to have 15,000 going out, in a short period of time. And so we don't approve monies that, all of a sudden everybody comes in all at once and says, okay, hey, we're done. Can we get paid? So I think it'd be better if we did make it so that they come in before they do the project. And that way they're too also, they know the money's coming. The money, then when they
Right, before they do.
yeah, exactly. So so they don't have to worry about, well, okay, we got $3,000 of work in this job. Now we got to go up and see the selectmen, and there's a chance they could reject it. And oh no, so at least they know they've got the money.
Yeah, I'm just looking down through the application to see if there was any spot on there, but I don't see any place on here that says, application must be filled, must be submitted prior to work being done.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that.
I had thought that we had talked about that.
We had.
We did, but
And it's not too late. You certainly can add that. We're going to get Brad's opinion on those two pieces that you and the committee discussed last week. You can still add it. So.
Yeah, and I'd add it right at the very top. Just.
But the ones that are resubmitting will be exempt from that, right?
Yeah, those will have to.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, as we believe, it's Lakeside and Lake Lake.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So. Yep, those are the only ones that we kicked back, that we had in our possession and kicked them back.
Right.
So, okay.
So while we're still working on this, I mean, so can I have those two go ahead and send them in? Because by the, you know, because they have those we can take the old application. They've got it all filled out. I mean, we could at least be scanning and sending it over to the road committee to start thinking about looking at. I mean, that's going to be, you know.
I think we ought to at least wait one, get this application set in stone first, I would think.
Yeah, because we want to give them that the new application, just
Yeah.
fill in the highlights. So, yeah. Okay.
Did we ever get approval? Did we ever get a recommendation from the road committee? No. On the Article 43 application
No,
last.
they had a couple things they wanted to have changed, and we did change a couple of things on it. And,
Yeah, we talked with them.
yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if we. I don't think they had enough people to vote on, anyways.
No, they only had 2.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we gonna still have to have them review this, or at this point, or?
Probably wouldn't. It wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, just so they can sign off on it.
Yeah, give them a yay or nay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to,
Good.
I mean, I think we've got it pretty much ironed out. I mean,
Yeah, we had that.
there may be 1 or 2 little things we have to change on it, but right now, we've hammered this thing out pretty well. So,
I like it.
yeah. Yep. Okay. So, do you know what you're doing, Jen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks.
I know Cheryl does.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, that's it for old business. New business, we have a liquor license ×2.
Yes. So you have, one is an email that I received from Destination Catering. You can see that she's got a wedding scheduled for August 29th at Blueberry Hill Farm. I did reply that she could send the 1-day permit to us. The question is about the fee. So we charge a $100 application fee for our regular ones. You're not required to have a public hearing on this, so I don't know how the board wants to handle it.
Well, we've done this before. What did we charge?
Yeah.
For? How did we do that?
Yeah, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I just can't, Michelle and I talked about that today. I can't, I can't remember. And I guess it's gonna depend on what, before I can make a recommendation, what do you want it to entail? Am I doing a background check on the company? Am I doing, who am I?
Is that what you did before?
Well, we did that
Was
for
it
our
last
annual.
week?
Yeah, we did that for our annuals. I don't recall. I mean, we've only done one other one like this, but with some other wedding venues coming into town, it may be a good time for you to have a conversation.
I think we did do a background check on the company.
Okay.
Because is it Destination Catering that's supplying the alcohol?
That's how I would assume that's how I'm taking the email. You?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, wedding bar. Yep.
Yeah. So were they? Let's see. I have a wedding bar service. So Blueberry Hill Farm, they're hiring this catering company to come in?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I would do the background. I'd do a background check on the catering company, just like we would do it on a regular establishment.
Yeah, it's whoever's serving the alcohol should be the one.
The only thing we can't do is a check through motor vehicle type thing because it's they're mobile. So.
Right. So if we do a $100 application fee for the ones that we have to run ads on, there's still obviously administrative fee. We'll just do $50 for the 1-day events.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yep. So is that 150 or total?
No, we're charging 100 regularly, right?
So it's $100 fee and that covers it all.
Well, $100 fee is what we're charging the year-round one. So I'm saying $50 fees for the other ones.
Oh, why wouldn't they just do it? It seems they're probably gonna have more than one wedding a year there. Wouldn't it be to our best interest and their best interest for them to do it once annually?
It's a different company.
Yeah, the 1-day permits you can't. They're only good for that 1 day. So you're signing a liquor license for that 1 day. So you don't want to.
You just said that we did one for a year with 100, and now we're doing 50.
I'm sorry, let me clarify. So when we're talking about Iron Tails or Willie's, you do an annual renewal for them once a year, and it's $100 fee.
Okay, they're $100, and we're charging them 50 for 1 day.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, there is still some administrative costs. You don't have to do all the advertising in the paper, so it doesn't need to be 800. But
Right.
there is still some, work associated with it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, sounds good. Yep, so do we, yes, we can't do anything with that until you get the background check and whatnot back to us.
Yeah, I don't even have the application yet. I just wanted to make sure I was answering it properly.
Okay. Okay, so that's that one. The next one we have is KB Restaurant Enterprises Incorporated, doing business as the Shed Restaurant. So this would be Willie's.
Right.
This is his annual liquor license renewal. So is he giving us all the information that we need?
It does appear. I haven't really dug into it too much. It just came in yesterday.
Okay.
But I was hoping that we could look at the calendar and pick a date for a public hearing so we can start scheduling it. Looking at probably July 22nd because I don't have 2 weeks notice tomorrow. So
Yep.
The election, so the 22nd at 6.
Sounds good.
And we'll obviously handle it the same way. We'll
Yep.
advertise it, get it in the paper, get background checks, all that
Yep.
good stuff.
Yep, check with the sheriff's department and all the pertinent information.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. All set with those two then. We have a request from the superintendent.
Next in your packet, you will see letters that, the letter to the citizens of the town of Acton from the superintendent and the school committee, or the chair of the school committee, and an additional letter from the entire committee. He's asking that these be posted on the town's website as information on the town's budget. They do have information that they're, on their website. They've brought some budget books in, but they would like it posted online if possible.
I think that's a good idea.
Sounds good.
Good to me.
Yep. Okay.
More information, the better.
Yep, exactly. Okay, anything else on that?
No, sir.
Okay. Next we have public comment.
So Kim has two that I think one of them went to both of you and one of them just went to you. I have a response, so if Kim, do you have them in front of you?
I have the letters, yes.
You want to read one of them and I'll follow up with the responses?
Sure. Okay. This is from, it has to do with Great East Lake pollution. I am writing this letter to you to express my deep concern over the problem of pollution in our beautiful lake, which is affecting the environment drastically. Video has surfaced from yesterday with large amounts of sediment falling into the lake from Young's Ridge Road. You can see the discoloration and chemicals being poured into the lake. As a third-generation resident on Great East, both I, my friends, family, and neighbors of the lake have always had a sense of pride on how clean our lake is, and we take care to make sure it's not being polluted or destroyed. We have a boat launch that does a tough inspection to make sure there are not boats bringing any invasive plants into the water. The town regulates how close to the shore someone can build, what they can remove for trees in front of their property, and watch for pollution. What is being done to put the pollution to the lake to a stop? What is the developer who has removed trees and altered the land in such a way that is damaging our beautiful lake going to be responsible for? Why has it gotten as bad as it is now? There should be rules and regulations one must follow to make sure the environment isn't negatively impacted. How is the town of Acton working to find a solution? How can I help? I look forward to hearing from you and any assistance you can be.
Okay.
Okay, that's one of them. And the other one is just about the same.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he's going through the planning board right now. DEP's all over that hard right now. I mean, he's been fined and this and that. DEP enforced that. Co-enforcement enforces that. So, the only thing I can see us doing, the only way we would get involved in that is if our co-enforcement wasn't doing his job, and I believe he is. So with that rain we just had, was anybody seen the Hopper Road? I mean, it took it hard, and Newfield roads are gone. But I would say that, you know, we have to, if there's a concern, we probably ought to have Mr. Paul go up and take a look at it, make sure that he's abiding by the, erosion control and all that, and make sure that he hasn't gone beyond his, and what he's allowed to do. That way there, we've done our part. Obviously, if he hasn't, I'm sure DP has already been called. So, I mean, but, I think that's something we ought to let Ken take care of.
Tim?
I mean, I agree about maybe having Ken go up and look at it and, you know, just kind of see where we're at and you know, things are being done correctly. Did we get anything back from code enforcement at all?
So I was just reading the the email that he responded to, and I'm
Okay.
as I'm looking at it, I feel like he may be responding to Mr. Crespi's Freedom of Information. I might have mixed up the email. I didn't. I'll read it to you, but I think that it's pertaining to Mr. Crespi's and not so much this. But it says, "Good afternoon.
Okay.
The report that did not make it into some of the planning board packets was not from Maine DEP, but from our planner. The engineer will respond to the planner's comments this week, and it will go back and forth until there are no more questions. We are only in the preliminary plan review stage on the project, and the board receiving it this week will not change anything. Julia received it prior to the meeting because they requested to have it for the meeting, and we made sure they did. It was my error for not getting it into all their packets, as they will have it along this week. With the engineer's response." So if you look down, I think that it's because see down bottom where I said, "Hi Ken, attached, please find." I think that he mixed that in Mr. Crespi's up.
The second letter, though, does talk about the detailed report and what it addresses.
Okay,
It does.
so did you want to read that one?
Yep. So this one is somebody else. Dear town officials, as residents of Acton, we are writing concern for the Youngs Ridge Road subdivision. We watched the planning board meeting on June 25th and found it very unusual that the planning board did not have the main DEP report to discuss and guide their actions regarding their subdivision, especially when members of the public had the report in hand and read it prior to the meeting.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Perfect. So I take back everything I said. I didn't read those, obviously. So yeah, so Ken knew what he was doing. Sorry, Ken.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, I felt like maybe that was, you know, a response.
I mean, the only thing I'm worried about here is, obviously, we have a group of people who doesn't want this. We have a developer who wants to do this. There's lawyers on both sides involved.
Right.
When we start getting letters like this, it's not, I mean, our job is to oversee and make sure the planning board is not going above and beyond, not doing their job. If they're not doing their job, making sure Ken's doing his job. But I don't believe we want to be getting involved in this unless we have to. And I understand the frustration. I saw the stuff on Facebook of the flumes in the water and this and that. But at the same time, that is a state-owned body of water. The state should be getting involved if that actually was an issue. That's why Deep Shore has been involved already. But I mean, other than the only thing we can really do at this point is just send our employee up to make sure that everything is being done at this point, but we don't want to be taking sides on this.
Yeah. No,
I know that.
Yeah, that's exactly true. So,
Right.
sorry, Kim, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. That's what I was going to say. So.
Okay. Yeah, if things aren't done the way that, you know, when it's all said and done through planning board, then there's zoning board of appeals. You know, there's many steps involved here. You know, before a nail starts to get driven. So, yeah. No, and I did see the things on Facebook as well. So, I mean, we did get almost 5 inches of rain within about 2.5, 3 hours.
It was
Right.
crazy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm up on
Will happen.
Lava Lake at Riyadh too. We
Yeah.
had a lot of erosion, and you know, it's a mess. It is a mess.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, and I think I had a accidental conversation with Ken last night. I was pulling in to sign the paperwork of the warrants, and Ken pulled in from coming back from a class. And I thought he said something about DEP was out there on Monday. So, but I
They've
don't
been
have
there several times.
zero details on it. So,
They've been there, from what I'm being told, they've been there several times for, you know, because people keep calling and they keep coming in. I'm not sure what the results are, but they are frequent flyers up
I
there.
have no idea. So,
Is,
and really from Monday to now, it's pretty quick for them to try to put a report together too. So, Jen?
is that the area that Mr. Colson has the concerns with, or is that a different
No.
area? Okay,
No.
because I know that they were out looking at that on Monday,
Isn't Colson down on Loop Road?
because we
It's
received
down
more
off
calls.
Stewart Drive.
Okay.
There's a house being put in out at the end there.
Okay.
This is the concern that this is all about the subdivision coming off Youngs Ridge.
All right, so as far as
So-
these two, so I can forward Ken's response to both of them if you'd like, and tell
Right,
them
and he's saying, you know, the engineer will respond to the planner's comments this week, so maybe they
Right,
should
yeah.
watch, you know, tomorrow too, and see if, you know, they can get some questions
And if-
answered.
and this is fairly early, I mean, at some point, there's gonna be a public hearing, I'm sure, so
Right,
they would have
Yeah.
the chance to answer that.
Did these emails just come to us, or did they also go to code enforcement?
They have only come to you.
Okay.
I mean, they were forwarded to code enforcement, and that's how he came up with the response. I sent them to him.
Oh, okay, good. No, I just want to make sure they were sent to him. So, okay.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Good. Okay. Anything else on the public comment?
Not that I received, unless you want me to open it up.
Well, let's see if anybody's waving their hand or anything here on our
All right, you gotta give us a second to turn.
dandy Zoom thing here.
I'm turning cameras on, so if anybody wants to speak. Oh,
Okay,
Roland
we have
does.
one. Roland would like to speak. Okay,
Just-
Roland. Oh,
I gotta unmute him.
Yep, let me give Jen just a second.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Shannon's good. All right, Paul, that's gonna be a no. All right, I think I'm good.
Okay. Roland,
We know you're good.
go ahead, Roland.
This is just a heads up for the selectmen. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but somebody hit the guardrail down by the fire pond between the cemetery and the campground that has been put in. Did a pretty good whap on it.
On the H road?
Yes, on the H road, and I saw the vehicle. Unfortunately, I didn't get a license plate, but it was a smaller white pickup truck.
Roland, I actually called it in, and the sheriff went up, caught the guy because he left the scene. I talked to the sheriff, told him that I told him that was town property damage, and he wants. I actually I texted you guys. I'm not sure. I know I texted Jen to make sure we're gonna remind her for this meeting, but we're gonna call Will. We have to have Will get a and a quote for the damage on it. But with all the washouts and stuff, I didn't think it was a time to have him, worried about that at the point. But I failed to mention that, so I'm glad you brought that up, Roland.
Not a problem. I apparently went by just after the accident because I saw the kid walking up the hill to the area right where Dan's entrance is, and he was carrying parts of the front of his truck.
Well, then you just passed me because I was just talking to him at the bottom of the hill, and he was asking me for a ride in a trailer. So,
Very good. Okay.
I
That's
just
all I
sent
got.
Will a message, so to follow up.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Will knows about it.
Thank you for that, Roland, and thank you, Dave. Anything else, Roland?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to speak?
Joyce had her hand up. I'm not sure if she. No, say Joyce.
Just waving and saying hello. Okay. I guess I don't see anybody else on here that.
Actually, I do. I just want to say thanks to Bernie and Mary for their service in the town in the last decades. I'll say decades.
Yeah.
I know when we were writing up the thing, I was up going through the books, and I have a pretty good idea of all the road commissioners through the days and stuff. But I had to go through a lot of town books to figure out exactly who was what. But, it took a while, and But I just want to thank them for their service to the town of Acton.
Great, okay. And I just want to say to the road commissioners we have right now, thank you for everything that they've done with this storm that we had Sunday night. This was a quick moving storm, came in hard and heavy. And I spoke to both of them. I think it must have been 9:30 or 10 o'clock Sunday night. They both called me just to say they were out and about, and, you know, basically just tell me that we have some damage and they're taking care of it. So
Yeah, I saw them, yes.
too. Yeah.
They were working hard yesterday. I came up to look at the Hopper Road. And,
Yep.
you know, they were working away, so.
Yeah, so that's Will and Joe.
Will and Joe.
Thank
Yep, both of them.
Okay. I don't have anything else. Anything else from you, Kim or Dave?
You.
Okay. Jen, you have anything? No? Okay. Like I said, we were on the leading edge of the 4th of July. Believe it or not, it certainly doesn't feel like it. Whoop. Yes, go right ahead, Jen.
So I know we had talked about the last 2 Wednesdays, and I guess, I mean, this today and Wednesday as far as just doing election stuff and closing out the book, which, by the way, went well today, but it is extremely a long process closing out $1 million books during a day when the office is supposed to be open.
Yep.
We have well over 200 absentees as well, just so you know.
Wow.
But anyways, July 14th, the day of the election, with your continued approval, the clerk's office won't be open to anything other than that. We're already having trouble filling the election spots, so I will need all hands on deck with my staff. So I just didn't want you to be surprised if we posted that.
Nope, I thought we already posted that. I think we talked
We
about
did
that
the
last week.
I
first
know we
day.
talked about it.
We didn't talk about election day, so I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, definitely. No, I definitely shut down election day. You got way too much to do that day. So, yep. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Like I said, right on the tip of 4th of July. In a year that's been really weird so far.
Mm.
So, just want to tell everyone, enjoy the 4th and, you know, be safe, be careful. So, that's all I have. So I guess, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion we adjourn July 1st at 6:47.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Kim?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And I say yes. And then with that, good night, everyone. Stay safe.
Night.
Good night.